Hi, everyone. This session is the how-to for planning, design, and development in the Global South, presented by myself, Erin McDade, and Edward Mazria of Architecture 2030. By 2040, population in the Global South is expected to increase by 1.21 billion people, or 90% of the total expected global population increase. 50% of this growth will happen in Africa, another nearly 30% in the Middle East and India, with the remaining Global South increase in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. In order to meet the needs of this significant population increase, the Global South will need 403 million new housing units, 3.63 million hospital beds, 522,000 new schools, and of course, enough infrastructure to support all of this significant development. Currently, the built environment is responsible for nearly 50% of total global annual emissions. So how we plan, design, and construct the built environment may very well determine the fate of the planet. But we have the tools and strategies to plan, design, and build sustainably, equitably, and with zero carbon emissions today. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Ed to tell you how we're going to achieve this.
Thanks, Erin. So how do we achieve a zero carbon built environment? Well, it's a two-step process. Step one is planning, design, and construction. Step two is adding the renewables to get us all the way to zero carbon. So planning, design, and construction. Those are strategies that we use to get the 70 to 80% reduction all the way to zero carbon. That's everything from growth boundaries in urban areas to transit development, to walkable communities, urban agriculture, everything way down to the building scale, the form of a building, where you put the glass, how you shade the glass, the materials we make the building out of, the construction types, passive heating, cooling, and daylighting strategies. All of that will get us 70 to 80% of the way to zero carbon. And then to get the other 20 to 30%, we add renewables, everything from on-site solar to utility scale solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal. And we know now that solar is the cheapest electricity in history. That's confirmed by the International Energy Agency. All of the strategies to get to the 70 to 80% reduction are contained within the 2030 palette. You can find it online at 2030palette.org. It's a free program. It's everything from regional strategies, cities and towns, district strategies, site and site development strategies, all the way to building design and building construction material strategies. You can find that all at 2030palette.org, and it's free. Here's one strategy, for example, heat island mitigation. You can see there are tools and resources. There are links to these tools and resources. And there's also in every strategy a rule of thumb. So in this case, if we want to reduce the heat island effect, if we increase the canopy in a urban district, for example, by 10%, we can reduce the midday maximum temperature by 1 degree C. So it has all sorts of other strategies for heat island mitigation. This one is transit-oriented development. For example, how do we develop for public transit? Well, we could establish transit-oriented development. We can establish those stops within 400 to 800 meters walking distance within an area, so that you increase the ridership on public transit, and this way make it financially viable. Other strategies, for example, at the building scale, what is the optimum form for daylighting a space so we don't need any lights on during the daytime, especially in day use facilities? Well, the rule of thumb is 4.5 to 9 meters. That's how much daylight you can throw, for example, from a window on a outside window in a space, and you can do it from both sides. The 4.5 meters is for task daylighting, and the other 4.5 further inside the building is for ambient daylighting. Here you can see task lighting from both sides. So this is a 9-meter wide floor plate, and you can see beautiful daylighting in this hospital in the global south. And here you can see a much wider floor plate, probably 18 meters. So you can see 4.5 from each side for task daylighting. That's where you're working and doing all the other things. And for circulation and storage and things like that, the other 4.5 coming in from both sides behind that is for ambient daylighting. So you can create a wider floor plate. So that's the guideline, the rule of thumb for daylighting design. This is double roof, and here you can see a beautiful double roof on a school. And the rule of thumb is in hot climates, you can incorporate a double roof separated by an air cavity from the roof of the building, and that shades the entire roof of the building. And if you extend that roof line over, you could shade the walls also and outdoor spaces. It's beautifully done in this school in the global south. You can also extend the roof line over multi-story buildings, for example, and use a double roof in that case. And here you can see a nice example of shading the roof and the outdoor balcony spaces in a multi-story building. Now, solar energy, actually energy, is distributed free to every place on the planet. You don't have to dig anything up. You don't have to clean it. You don't have to transport it. You don't have to build facilities to burn it. This is energy, solar energy, that's distributed free to every square meter on the planet. In the global north, it's roughly 2.6 to 3.8 kilowatt hours per square meter. That's how much energy you get on a square meter on a daily basis. That's a daily average. But look in the global south, it's 5 to 6.2 kilowatt hours per square meter. That's almost double the amount of energy that you get free to every site in the global south, almost double what you get in the global north. So it makes sense to use that energy. And so we could say that the richest places in terms of energy distribution, free energy distribution, is in the global south. So I'd like to thank you all for attending the How To for People Plus Planet. Erin and I would like to thank you very much, and we'll now continue with the rest of the program. Thanks again.